Here are my thoughts on Psalm 84. First of all, this idea of dwelling. We had one of the best questions on Alpha recently. What's the small print? What's the catch with this whole thing of believing in God? And I think the answer to me is that, if you open the door of your heart and mind to Jesus, He will come in and things will start to change. You might not realize it straight away, but over things, the things that you once thought important lessen, and the things you thought trivial become more important. I guess your priorities change because He puts this desire within you to be with God, to do the right thing, to dwell with Him, to seek His presence. Like it starts off in verse 1 and 2, and in verse 10 and in 11. He offers a soul connection like no other. He offers this amazing, intimate relationship. It's not like that He takes you over by force. No, we are invited to dance with Him. You don't have to say yes. It is very still much your choice. He works with you. But I do think it's important that when we consider this journey of faith, it's important to count the cost of following Him, because He may choose us to do things that and that we may choose to do things that are hard, that are tough, mainly because we get a sense that God is prompting us to do things that that test our faith, that we step out in trust, in risk. But then again, you can't outgive God. He may prompt you to do things, but He will bless you with good things. You get His presence. You get His presence with you. He will guide you. He will love you. Because one day in His presence is more precious and so much better than 1,000 days elsewhere. Number 2, pilgrimage. Like the train that appears in the start of every Alpha film, believing in God is a faith journey. Verses 5 to 7 talks about this journey as a pilgrimage. This image of pilgrimage has become, to me, certainly in the last year, a very powerful concept. Believing in God is not just about rules and regulations, it's about relationship. I am a follower of Jesus Christ. Some days I don't follow Him very well. Other days it's okay, and sometimes it feels like I'm really close to Him. It's a journey of highs and lows, but whatever happens, I know I have a road in my heart to His holiness, and the more time I spend searching for Him, dwelling with Him, the stronger I get. Like the imagery later in the Psalm, verse 11, no good thing does He withhold from those whose walk is blameless. He keeps us warm. He keeps us whole. And my third thought is that there is a pilgrimage coming up. This cycle pilgrimage on the 30th July to the 6th of August is a pilgrimage. It's going to be a very special week for myself, Trev, and his son Daniel. And you're invited to be part of it. Saturday, 30th July, 9 o'clock is the start. Please be there at the start of it, if only to be just there, maybe to pray. And if you've got a bike, please consider cycling to the end of the road, to Dedham, or as far as you want to go before you have to turn back. Or why not come the whole way? My fourth thing is the vision. This idea of the valley of Baca, this dry and arid place, a place of weeping. They think it was on a pilgrimage route to Jerusalem. I guess it was just a tough part of the journey. And the way some translations interpret this verse is that if you are a pilgrim, that God is with you, and you will have these springs of life, these pools of blessing in your life that will sustain you when things get tough. I like that. Don't get me wrong, I like that. But the way it just reads in the NIV, it suggests that if you are a pilgrim, then you will have a transforming effect on the space around you. The Valley of Baca will no longer be a valley of weeping or dry and arid. Springs will pop up because of God's presence in you. rain, God's righteousness will pour down on you to create an oasis, these pools of blessings where people can connect with him. It'll be God who does this through you. So what is God doing in your life? What is he doing with the people around you? Are there signs of this life springing up, these pools of blessing around you? Are people noticing? Are they changing? For me, this is the vision of what we're trying to do. That as we live our lives following him, he would draw people to himself through us, that we would see his kingdom come, his rule and reign in people's lives in our lifetime. That people would find Jesus, believe in him and follow him. The facts are, at the moment, only 5% of the UK population are part of church, and that means that 95% don't. We're on this journey to the 95%. I guess, some of them are fine. They're quite happy. But I guess there's a lot of people out there who are in their own little valley of Baca, their own dry and arid place, their own valley of weeping. I think that some people will find a connection, a home within the existing church structures, but I guess a lot will not. And I think we need to become a church without walls and places ourselves in those dry and arid places where there is weeping, that we would then see life spring up and the rain of righteousness, that is God's blessing on us, fall down on us in such a way that there is amazing blessing, a transformation of the people around us, that there would be transformed communities, that there would be, once again, revival. I mean, this is why we ask the question at the end of our Bible time, who could you share this story with, and why? Every now and again, we ask you to share your story with the group, that it becomes normal, it becomes natural to be able to share what God is doing in your life, what you're learning, what you're realizing. Not always easy. It takes courage, it takes bravery, it takes faith. Faith is spelt R-I-S-K. And then my last point is just about us. Monday Online. This group is family to us. It functions as church. It is different. It is pioneering, but it's good. It is to us anyway. It is a spring of life. It is a pool of blessing, and we pray for more pools of blessing, more springs of life popping up in our lives, in your lives, but only if it is to the people within this group and the people around us, if it's working. If it is, then let's keep going. Let's press on. But if it isn't, then let's just change the shape. So is your faith growing? Are you sharing your faith with your family, your friends, your neighbours, your work colleagues? Is there anyone who you are talking to, that you are noticing, that maybe God is prompting to talk to, that has an interest in God, in faith, in life, more life, and also has the capacity to do something like the Alpha Course when we restart in September, Tuesday, the 20th of that month, September. So, conclusion, I just pray that you catch the vision, that you create time, and it does need planning to find space, slowing down to dwell with him. We talked about it in Psalm 91, and it's picked up again in Psalm 48, dwelling with him. Work on your journey of faith, your pilgrimage. Trust in him, rely on him, 100%. And also to see God change your life and transform the people around you, that we would imagine the communities, we would reimagine the communities you live in, and let's see new expressions of family, of church spring up around us. That, I think, is the vision. That is the dream. I pray that this is received well, and that I get some comments just to sort of get some reaction about what you think about Psalm 84 and my thoughts. Talk soon.